There are women who awaken, and there are women who merely brush past. The difference is not in their beauty, not in their voice, but in their intention. Because a deep man does not ignite with noise, he burns in silence when someone dares to step into the shadowlands of his soul. This isn't a game, it's a revelation. You are not here to chase an avoidant man, you are here to awaken what he buried long ago. 8 ways to trigger deep emotional attraction in an avoidant man without chasing him. Touch his lower back, where the armor begins to crack. Behind every avoidant man is a boy who learned to wear armor early, his lower back. That's where the weight of the years lives, where decisions made in silence and disappointments swallowed whole are stored. Touch it, not with desire, but with presence. Not when you want something, but when he's fixing a light bulb, sitting at the table, lost in thought. Carl Jung taught that the unconscious speaks through the body. This gesture says, I see you, not as a tool, not as a role, but as a man. And when you touch him there, without needing anything in return, you're not seducing him. You're dissolving the exile he placed upon himself. The inner arm, where affection once lived. You want to know where his need for connection lives? It's not in the places you think. It's in the inner part of his arm, where the skin still remembers the innocence of childhood comfort, where he was once held without agenda. According to Jung, the archetype of the mother resides within all of us, the one who nurtures without condition. When you gently place your fingers there, you awaken in him a memory not of lust, but of worth. The kind of worth that does not need to be earned. Avoidant men withdraw because they fear being used. But when you touch without demand, you say, you are not a resource, you are a human being worthy of warmth. No lingerie, no flattery, just a presence that makes him feel safe. The jawline, where vulnerability becomes trust. Touching the edge of a man's jaw isn't about passion, it's about power, restrained. That space between his mouth and his neck, it holds both dominance and fragility. And when your fingertips rest there, you send a message his ego cannot block. I could hurt you, but I won't. And that, to an avoidant man, is divine. Because, as Jung would say, the animus within a man responds to the feminine, not when she pleads, but when she contains. Try it. Next time he's telling you something about his day, don't interrupt, don't praise. Just place your hand gently at the edge of his jaw. Then, let go. Say nothing. Let silence carry the weight. He'll remember that touch more than any word you could say. Behind the knees, the place. He forgot he needed. Now we go to the forgotten, to the hidden, to the place no one thinks to touch. Behind his knees. Not sexy, not obvious, but intimate, beyond language. Jung spoke of the shadow, the rejected, disowned parts of ourselves, the places we bury because we're told they don't matter. Behind the knees is not a symbol of strength, it's a symbol of what he's left behind. When you kneel next to him, not to seduce, not to beg, but to simply hold that tender space, you become the mirror that reflects back his wholeness. You say, I don't just want your front-facing strength, I want the parts you hide. Touch there gently, not often, but meaningfully, and you'll see a softness return to his eyes. The scalp, where thought meets surrender. Most women forget this, or never knew. The scalp, the crown of his head, isn't just bone and hair. It's the place where the mind surrenders control. Touch it while he's lying next to you, not with desire, with reverence. Carl Jung believed that transformation happens when the conscious mind surrenders to the deeper self. When you place your fingers on his scalp, you are saying, it's okay to stop thinking. I've got you. This is where emotional attraction becomes spiritual, where tension dissolves, where he finally exhales. Don't underestimate this. It's the kind of connection that makes him miss you, long after the moment has passed. Eye contact, the portal to the psyche. They say eyes are the window to the soul, but for an avoidant man, they're a guarded fortress. Don't break in, don't force it. Hold his gaze without flinching, but also without grasping. Let the moment breathe, let it tremble, because in that shared silence, you're not just looking into him, you're allowing him to be seen. Jung would call this the moment of individuation, when the self emerges from behind the persona, when he can look into your eyes and not see judgment, not see control, not even need, but stillness. That's when emotional attraction is born, not in fireworks, but in peace. Your absence, the echo of your presence. You want him to feel something? Then leave. But don't disappear. Just stop overgiving. Stop rescuing. Stop filling every silence. Avoidant men are not drawn to what clings. They are drawn to what resonates. Carl Jung said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." Your absence, when rooted in self-worth, creates the space for reaction. Let your stillness echo, let your silence speak, and watch him come back. Not out of guilt, but because your absence reminded him of what your presence once gave him. Authentic expression, the feminine that does not perform. Finally, stop performing. The feminine that awakens him is not the loudest in the room. It's the one who feels fully, who speaks without pleasing, who radiates without effort. Don't act confident. Be real. Tell him what moves you, what frightens you, what you long for, not to manipulate, but to exist fully in his presence. Avoidant men retreat from drama, but they're starved for depth. Be the woman who isn't afraid of her own complexity, who laughs with her whole body, who weeps without shame, who says, "I don't chase, but I feel." That kind of woman is unforgettable. So here we are, not with tricks, not with seduction, but with presence. Presence that does not chase but calls forth, not through volume, but through vibration. If you want to trigger deep emotional attraction in an avoidant man, you must become the mirror that reflects his truth without distortion. The woman who does not flinch at his silence. The woman who does not interpret distance as rejection, but as protection, his last surviving strategy to not feel too much. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." So don't call his detachment fate. Call it what it is, a defense mechanism waiting to be dissolved by someone who knows how to hold space without shrinking. Let your intention be the light that draws his shadow out of hiding, not to change him, but to meet him. Let your touch be the ritual that reconnects him to himself. And let your silence be the space where real connection is finally born, not because you chased him, but because you stayed still enough for his soul to recognize itself in your presence. And that is what awakens love.